I asked ChatGPT yet again to pretend to be the devil. And if he wanted to keep you stuck, if he wanted to keep you in a place of fear and procrastination, what would he do? So if you're somebody who struggles with the spirit of fear and procrastination when it comes to building a business, when it comes to following God, stick around and watch this video all the way through, because I'm literally going to put you on game of how the enemy, how the devil likes to keep you stuck, stagnant, so you don't move. And before you know it, another year has gone by and you're still in the same place you've been the last 5 to 10 years. So you want to stick around, pay attention, like, comment, subscribe, because we're getting ready to get into it. Okay, so ChatGPT gave me about 7 things it would do if it were the devil, and I want to read it off to you. If I were the devil, here's how I would keep you stuck. I'd convince you that you're not ready, not smart enough, not spiritual enough, not qualified. I'd whisper, you need to learn more. Wait until it's perfect. Because if I can make you wait for ready, I can make you miss your moment. Wow. Number 2, I'd flood you with comparison. I make sure you're scrolling every day, watching other women do what they're called to do. And I make you feel behind, invisible, and irrelevant. I twist inspiration into insecurity. Wow, let's keep going. Number 3, I'd use your past to paralyze you. I'd remind you of your failures, what didn't work, who didn't support you. Remember when you tried this last time? I keep you questioning your ability and God's promise. Wow. Number 4, I'd make perfection your idol. I'd whisper, it's not good enough. You're not good enough. And because you're trying to please everyone, and you'd publish nothing. I got to read that over because my brain is all over the place. I'd whisper, it's not good enough. You're not good enough. And because you're trying to please everyone, you'd publish nothing. This is for my authors and my writers. And because perfect never comes. Wow. Number 5, I distract you with busyness. I keep you busy with tasks that feel important but produce nothing. I make sure your days are full, but your busyness is empty, because movement is not the same as momentum. Number 6, I'd make you overly spiritual but not strategic. I encourage you to pray but never plan, to keep you saying, I'm waiting on God, when God is already waiting on you, because disobedience wrapped in delay is still disobedience. Number 7, I'd isolate you. I'd make sure you never ask for help, that you struggle in silence while pretending everything's fine online, because isolation keeps you insecure. Wow, 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 wow. So those are 7 things that the enemy does to keep you with the spirit of procrastination, to keep you with fear, to keep you not moving and doing what God has called you to do. Disobedience will rob you. Disobedience will keep you stuck. Anytime you don't do what God is telling you to do, that's saying, God, nope, I'm not going to do it. But you got to be careful with that, because it's going to cost you something. And then 2, if you don't do it, God will use somebody else. I have heard so many stories of people saying how they didn't move when God told them to move and they missed an opportunity. I'll give an example. There's a woman of God named Dr. Tracy Lynn. She used to sell Tracy Lynn jewelry, Tracy Lynn fashion. She got this prophetic word that she was supposed to write a book. She got the prophetic word in church. So she did all the antics. She danced in church. She shouted. She cried. She rolled on the ground, did all of that type of stuff. But she never wrote the book. One day, she goes in the bookstore. She sees a book. We're going to pretend this is the book. And the book has the exact title that God told her to do. She goes and she looks through the book. The chapters are very similar. She missed an opportunity, and now she got to see somebody else eating the fruit of what God told her to do. I'll give you another example. I met this woman of God some years ago, and she was telling me how the Lord told her to start a platform very similar to my media company called I Need a Word. And she said, I took that thing to my leaders, And my leaders, they didn't get it. They shunned it. They didn't want to do it. She says, so I pushed it to the side. And she says, now I see you walking in the very thing, in the very fruit that God told me to do. And in the back of my mind, I said, one woman's no was another woman's yes. I was literally on the backside of the desert, broke, busted, disgusted. But when God told me to move, I took the faith that I had and I began to move. And that birthed out the media company that I had. I helped people like Michael Todd, Sarah Jakes, John Gray, Medina Pullins, Bishop T.D. Jakes, so many other people go viral. So many other of these ministers and ministries get more exposure and make more money. I have helped so many people, but I had to follow the leading of God. Now, I want to go back to one of the things that chat said. Number 6, I'd make you overly spiritual but not strategic. I encourage you to pray but never plan. To keep saying I'm waiting on God when God's already waiting on you. Do you know that that's one of the tactics, is to have you believing that you're waiting on God? That's an excuse that people use not to move. When God already gave you the okay, he already gave you the idea, how many times do you have to go back and pray about it? How many confirmations do you need? When you need multiple confirmations and you know it was God, it's just a sign that you don't trust God. It's just a sign that you do not trust God. And when you don't trust him, you got to go back to your relationship. You got to go back to your identity. You got to spend some time in prayer. God, show me how to trust you. Help me to trust you. I know one thing I was believing you for and it didn't happen. I want to give you one more example. I offered somebody to give them favor like I never give anybody. I was going to give them an opportunity of a lifetime. And I said, here's the opportunity. Here it is. Cause you were saying that you've been praying about something. Here's favor. So I gave them the favor and they said, you know what they said to me? I need to go pray about it. And then instantly I took back in my mind, I did like this. I took back the favor because one, you told me that you already been praying about it and you know that God was speaking to you. So now you're second guessing God. So now you got to bring that back into prayer. And then she says, because I just feel like, if God was going to do it, he would do it a different way. That's our problem right there. When we try to put God in a box, when we try to say, this God, this is how you got to do it, it limits us. And so I took back my favor and walked away. She missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime because she had to go bring it back into prayer when she already said she prayed about it. So I'm going to tell y'all, don't get in a place where you allow prayer to keep you in a place of procrastination. How many confirmations do you need to move? You got to learn some things in this life have a window. When you're operating in the spiritual, some things have a window. And when God says move, there's a momentum, there is speed on it, and you got to go. When I was broke, busted, disgusted, sleeping on my parents' couch, trying to figure out life, God gave me an idea. It did not make sense, but it made faith. I put my pride to the side. I followed what God told me to do. That night, I launched 10,000 followers. Day 9, 100,000 followers. Somebody says, hey, the Lord told me to give you a logo. Shortly after that, I started getting customers and clients. All because I moved. When I moved, when that speed hit, when that supernatural acceleration hit, it opened the door. It unlocked the provision that I was praying for. It unlocked the money that I was believing God for. So some things have a window, y'all, and you got to move when God is calling you to move. Either you got to make a decision. Either I'm going to trust God and just walk it out by faith, or I'm going to disobey God and keep missing opportunities and keep being in covenant with the enemy. Because we literally got a blueprint on how he works with keeping you stuck in procrastination, keeping you stuck in a place of fear. We know that God did not give you the spirit of fear, but he gave you power, love, and a sound mind. So if there's something that's keeping you away from that power, love, and a sound mind, you know it's not of God. So you got to begin to move, y'all. Again, if you like content like this, make sure you like, you follow, you subscribe, you leave me a comment. If you're abandoning procrastination, let me know in the comment section, y'all. We gotta move. This is the season to move. This is open heaven. This is a place where the wealth transfer is here, but that wealth transfer cannot come to you if you're stuck, if you're a place of being stagnant. It's going to come to the movers and shakers. So you want to be a mover and shaker in the season. If you are somebody who is battling with procrastination and you want to get free, I'm offering over 40 something classes that not only teach you about getting deliverance or overcoming the spirit of procrastination, but it also teaches you marketing. It also teaches you target audience. It also teaches you how to create a faceless brand. I am bundling all of these classes with some of my best workbooks, some of my best journals. For $20, you'll get access to over 40 classes, plus journals and workbooks to help you with navigating the spirit of fear and the spirit of procrastination. If you go to the link in the description, click the button, sign up, get access to those courses. And don't just get the courses, but actually go in there and start learning. I am closing my membership. So in honor of me closing and moving on to this new phase that I believe God is calling me to, I'm getting rid of a lot of the old things that I used to teach. And I'm offering you a bundle for $20, only $20. And you're going to get a Google Drive file that gives you access to all of this stuff. There's stuff in there about building a business with God. There's stuff in there about intimacy with God. There's journals in there. There's showing you how to use ChatGPT so you can make things more efficiently. There's so much stuff in there. And I'm giving it all away to you for only $20. Just click the link in my description. And I pray that it is a blessing to you. So I'll see you on the next video, y'all. Let's keep going with this momentum we have in. Let's keep going with pushing through and following the leading of the Lord and essentially building a business with God. See you on the next video.